Merhaba arkadaşlar, trayach stüdyolarında Mark Lamia ile birlikteyiz. Mark Lamia, trayach'ın başkanı, yani Call of Duty Black Ops serisinin de yaratıcısı. Şimdi onunla güzel ve mümkünse oldukça uzun bir röportaj yapacağız. Kendisi biliyor mu bunu bilmiyorum ama çok eğlenceli bir insan. Zaten güzel bir sohbet olacağını umuyorum. Hello Mark, how are you?
Hello.
It's really nice to be here, and we're really excited about the Black Ops 2.
I'm excited to have you here. Thank you for traveling all the way here. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It was really surprising that with Black Ops 2 you were able to keep lots of secrets, and you did like a 3 hours presentation to us. We talk a lot about the stuff, but still there's some questions I would like to ask, and I want to share some stuff through you with our readers.
Sure.
Before coming here, I prepared some questions, and one of them was, are you planning to move into 80s? Since the first game was on 60s, are you planning to move 80s? And when in the presentation you said that you are moving to 80s, I was like, yes, I knew. But then you said that you're moving to 2025.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that, were you?
No.
That's the best kept secret in gaming,
yes.
right? Okay. So, yeah, with Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the story is, it's a time-spanning narrative. And one of the things that the creative director wanted to create was this very three-dimensional villain. And he wanted to be able to tell the story of how that villain's motivations came to pass. And in our story, the villain, we get to experience that by playing the characters that people experienced in Black Ops 1. So Mason, Woods, the CIA handler Hudson. It's in the 80s with those characters that you're going to experience the past. The game actually takes place in 2025. And what's happening is you're playing as David Mason, the son of Alex Mason, and you're in Elite Black Ops. And you go to visit an old man Woods who is, you need to learn about the past. You need to learn about what are the motivations for this as you try to track down the villain in the future, right? Where you are, actually in the present day in 2025. And it's through Woods' memories. He tells you about how he and your father first met the villain a long time ago. And so that's how we portray the 80s. And there's these parallels in the story. There's Cold War that we all know, and then there is the second Cold War, which hasn't occurred yet. That's our fiction. That's our fiction. And we spent many hours talking about how we've crafted that fiction for the future. And we do that in a way that is like we craft our past. We talk to the experts, and in this case, you know, we've gone to the experts, and we've done our research, and we've become, you know, subject matter experts in geopolitical affairs, that things that we might be grappling with, so that we can create a plausible and authentic setting, so that we can then weave our fiction right through it. And I think that's what people enjoy about Black Ops, is that there are these historical settings from the past that we did, but then things aren't exactly as they seem, right?
Yes.
These are the Black Ops missions that you got, and we wove our fiction right through it. And that's the exact same philosophy when we went to the future. And there's all kinds of exciting things that were opened up to us when we went to the future.
It's interesting because there's also conspiracies about video games, that when they talk about some stuff, they took some predictions for future. People think that the US government or any Western government influence gaming companies to talk about, for example, there will be a conflict with Iraq, but before it, a game comes with a conflict with Iraq. So have you ever heard about those kind of stuff?
Not specifically,
Yeah,
no.
there's also those kind of, you know, those
Sounds like some Black Ops material,
yes,
actually.
yes, but
no,
actually it's other way around. You're doing all the research, you're talking with all the guys, experts in international relationships to predict stuff.
I mean, we're you know, with Call of Duty, you know, I think what we try to do, as with Black Ops in particular, is we really do want to create a fiction that lets the player settle in, and it's like, okay, this is the time frame, and there's enough of the characters and the settings that look authentic and sound authentic and everything else. And then what we do is we craft our fiction right through it.
Yeah.
It's a way to tell our story. It's a form of storytelling.
But still, if the things in Black Ops 2 happens in 13 years, we shouldn't be surprised, right? Maybe not that dramatic as the in game, but
I guess we'll see. We'll talk about it in 13 years. You never know.
Also, interesting thing is you did a game, Black Ops.
Yeah.
It sold over 20 million copies, and it made more than $1 billion. And instead of iterating it or just continuing it, you're risking stuff to do something new. So you're taking the series in the second game to the future. How crazy is that?
You know what I think is crazy after
Yeah.
having a successful franchise for
Yeah.
a long time is not trying to push it, not trying to bring people new experiences, not trying to innovate. I think that's more risky than trying to innovate and give people new experiences. It's very difficult to do that because we have to sculpt new experiences, create, entirely new fictions. But for us, that's the excitement. That's as creative people, that's what gets us excited to do it again. So I look at it from a different point of view. I look at it that it would be actually more risky for our audience if we didn't take those risks and give them some new experiences.
And even for a multiplayer, that in the presentation you were saying that you're looking at in a new perspective, that there may be some really strong changes even on multiplayer, which is really, really successful with Black Ops.
Yes, really on every front. I mean, if we were done, we could just hang it up right now. We're not done. We have a lot of new great experiences that we think we could bring to the table. The great thing about Black Ops has been that so many people have played it, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback. And there's, I think, so many more things that we could do to excite and invigorate people who've been playing it a long time, who've had a lot of great time experiencing it. There's a lot we can do for them, but there's also a lot for people who are just coming into the franchise who, would like to have some great multiplayer experiences as well. So I think there's things that we can do on both fronts. And the guys are excited to do it. I give them a lot of credit, to your point. They have a very successful, they've had fortunate to have had some very good success, and they could just iterate on what they're doing, but that isn't the attitude they took. They really wanted to push it and bring a lot of great new experiences to people and give them we feel like we have to earn it every time we come and create a game. I don't think we can expect that people will come out every single time. We have to work for it and earn it.
And I'm also wondering, since you're going to future from 60s, now you're in the similar era with the Modern Warfare, because I think they're not as far as 2025, but they're very similar era. So how do you feel about you going into similar era with Black Ops, and is there any kind of cooperation between them? Depending on, for example, new technologies, warfare, etc.
The game is a totally independent creative that we're creating. It's totally unique. Black Ops 2 assumes that we are sitting here, you and I, in the year 2012. The past that we craft, well, that all really happened. The Black operations are the things you didn't know about. The future that we're going to create assumes that we're sitting here, and that you can bring all of your experiences and knowledge of history and life to the table, and then we're going to bring you new experiences in the future. Modern Warfare is its own fiction. It doesn't have anything to do with our Black Ops fiction, but it is part of the Call of Duty franchise. We're all part of the same franchise at the same time. So, in any event, it's totally distinct and unique, and I don't think there'll be any mistaking Black Ops 2 from a Modern Warfare game. There'll be
Yes,
no, I think it'll be very I mean, you saw it today, and
yeah, it's really interesting because I was thinking that it will, when you said that it's 2025, it will look like a little bit more like Modern Warfare, but it feels so much Black Ops, even though there's like 60 years. The characters, the animations, the story, the scale, even the colors.
you've just
It's
done the interview for me. You just said it.
yes,
It's
it's really
it
different.
has its own character.
Yes,
It has the
definitely.
character of the because we made the other game.
Yes.
This is the same. These people, they want to, they have their own flavor, their own
Yes.
creative, and they're bringing that to this, and that's why it's not the same thing.
It's interesting that even though it's like, well, one is past, one is future, you can say that it feels like a sequel.
It is a sequel.
Yeah.
It is a
It's
sequel,
a
and you'll
direct
have the
sequel,
character.
yeah.
Yeah, you will. I mean, if you played Black Ops, what will be so great is it'll be satisfying because you're going to see and play the characters that you were in Black Ops, as well as an entirely new cast of characters and an entirely new set of fiction. And the way, the thread between them is our villain, right? We're telling that story because we're going to see the villain and his motivations, because we want to tell a very compelling story, a very three-dimensional character. And then we're going to see him, and then we're going to see what he's going to do in the future. But we're going to see what his motivations were from the past.
His name is Menendez.
Menendez.
Right.
And he is
So,
Nicaraguan.
and Nicaraguan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this guy doesn't care about the US or China. But in the presentation you said that you will show more than one perspective of this villain. It will be more compelling.
Multi-dimensional.
Multidimensional. So
Yeah.
we will know his reasons. We will be able to understand this villain.
Well, it won't just be presented to you as here's the bad guy.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll understand more of the motivations, more of the, whether, that doesn't mean he's not still the villain. But you'll be able to see, the, why he is the way he is, maybe, or why he's thinking of some of the things. Why does he have this? What's his disdain for this and that and the other? As opposed to just saying he's what? Why is he the villain? Why is he? And why does he? Why is he interested in exacting his vengeance in the future? Why is that? Yeah.
So it sounds like he's the backbone of the story.
His story arc takes place over that entire game, and we're going to tell you more about the villain later in much greater depth because he is very interesting. And Dave Anthony has been working with David Goyer, and I don't know how familiar you are with the Batman: The Dark Knight
Yes,
series.
sure.
Okay, I think he did. We've been consulting and working with him, and he's done a great job. Dave Anthony is very interested in creating this character and making him a substantial character. Like you said, very Black Ops style, something for us to do, but more so. I think we did a good job exploring the characters, the heroes in Black Ops, but we felt like we wanted to do more on the other side as well.
So also together with the bad guy, we see that we have a new main character, which is the son of Alex
Mason, right?
Alex
So
Mason,
David Mason, you're
Mason.
playing the son of Alex
So
Mason in the future,
he is a Black Ops guy too, right?
like his father, right?
Yes, and also probably there will be, as you said, that the flashbacks when he talks with Woods, we will go to 80s, but all the 2025 parts we will be playing with
Yes,
David
I
Mason,
mean,
just one character.
well, I didn't say that actually.
Okay.
You'll be playing as David Mason for sure, and you will also. There are these new missions that we're introducing, these Strike Force missions, where
Yes.
you're actually you will assume the role of a squad of Black Ops. There'll be these proxy wars that are going on out in the world, and you'll choose which one of these conflicts to enter into, and it's actually a choice event, which means that there's some nonlinearity now in the campaign because. Your choice will mean that you're going to choose that you want to play this as opposed to this level, and you could actually win or lose that level, and the story will continue and branch appropriately. Now, my hope is that you'll want to go back and play some of those other levels, but you don't have to. You can just keep going and play play the game that way. And when you're playing that, you're playing an elite Black Ops squad. That isn't David Mason.
Okay, but this Strike Force is interesting because you're using words like nonlinear, sandbox,
Yeah.
branching campaign. These
Yeah.
stuff are new for us in Call of Duty
They're,
series.
yeah, they are. It's something we wanted to do, and that we spent a lot of time prototyping, and that we're excited about. It's going to make for entirely new gameplay experiences for people, and I think that's important, and I think players are going to enjoy it.
Okay, so to make sure these are some kind of like side missions that you can choose to play, but when you play it, it changes the whole campaign, the story arc. Am I right?
You've kind of got the idea.
Yeah.
Let me try and paint a little bit of a different picture. You have to go on one of these missions,
Okay.
but you have a choice
Choose.
about which one.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you're going to go revisit the other ones that you didn't play.
Uh-huh.
The story will move forward. These missions are the proxy wars that are occurring in the world in the Cold War, the Black Ops missions. And they will affect the geopolitical landscape. So, I showed you a level,
Yes.
a Singapore level,
Yeah.
where there was a conflict. Based on whether you have mission success or failure there, that will affect what's going on in the world, and the story will move forward.
So in the level we see, we were trying to secure some points within the map, and we were using drones and a squad, and we were even able to not to play it at all on the ground, but from the Overwatch mod.
That's right.
Like a
Yeah.
commander.
Overwatch, yeah.
Overwatch
Yeah, that's
mod,
right.
yeah. And what other kind of missions, objectives in those? Is it just like
They'll be
securing?
different. There'll be
Yeah.
different levels with
Yeah.
different objectives that you'll be able to play. You're going to get a debriefing, and you'll be able to choose which one of these missions you want to go
Okay.
on.
Can you give
You
some
got it.
more
You described it.
example?
You
Yeah.
described it really well, but I'll try and help because it's an entirely new game mode, right? You can play this mode if you play Call of Duty and you have your weapon and you play through Call of Duty. You could play this mode just like you play every other mission. You'd never have to change another character. You never have to go to any of these other modes. But that would just be scratching the surface of this mode. You can actually move between different members of the squad who have different weaponry. You can actually take over equipment on the battlefield. This is where the future is really, really, really fun from a gameplay point of view because there's a lot of really cool technology and for that, for us as game makers, that means there's new gameplay. And so that allows you to fly or drive some of the new weaponry on the
And
battlefield.
we can play with all the toys.
You
in
can
those
play with all the
strike
toys, right? And then you can play in the Overwatch mode. You can actually play the entire level in Overwatch mode. You could command the battlefield. I like to use it in the way that you can command the battlefield. I set up my space, and then I move down to be the Black Operative on the ground that I want to play. And then when I really love to fly we have these quad rotors, and it's just fun. It's fun. It's a fun gameplay mechanic to play, and it's totally new and totally different than anything we've had in Call of Duty. So we're very excited about it.
So in Black Ops, it's something personal that the only thing that irritated me was the chopper level where we fly this huge Russian helicopter.
Russian Hind.
Hind, yeah, because it was too arcade. And for me, it was a little bit cheesy because I was keep being hit by rockets, but I know that it's an action game and maybe it's supposed to be like that for most of the people, but it didn't work for me. So in this today in the demo, we've seen flying a very high-tech new, I think FA-38.
Yeah, it's a vertical takeoff.
Yes, plane.
Future plane. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but it looked like that it's still the same basic mechanics, that something that anyone can operate and enjoy.
Yeah, it's very there was a couple of different flight modes in there. Anyone who can play Call of Duty can play it. It's not a simulator. It's an action
Yeah.
game. So it's really intense. I don't know, you tell me you saw it. Did you think it
Yeah.
looked intense? Yeah, it was pretty intense.
It was far ahead of the Hind level on the first, because it was so fast, and between skyscrapers over LA, it was quite tense.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be very exciting to play. And you know what? I think it just goes to, if you remember that level, there's just a lot of different types of gameplay in that level. The team wanted to offer, and that's just one level.
Yes. And it looks like that the whole scale is going much bigger with the Black Ops 2. You have more game modes. The things happening is now a one huge narrative, so probably story-wise, it has much more material.
Everything is much bigger.
So what about the game length? Will it be still around 12 hours, the campaign?
We're not done with it yet.
Yeah.
So in all honesty, I can't answer that. But I think, as a single playthrough, you can expect the kind of campaign length of around what we delivered in Black Ops. Maybe it'll be more, maybe it'll be less. But we haven't finished it, right? But the difference is the replayability that I think will exist because of the branching storylines, and people I think will want to go back and do things, and also these Strike Force levels. You actually won't experience some of them if you just have a single playthrough, and I think people will enjoy this, and hopefully they'll want to go back and play it and get more enjoyment out of the game because there's experiences they didn't have. I'm a completionist, so I'm one of those guys who wants to make sure I've tried everything. So in that case, I think you'll get potentially a lot more
And also you
playback.
have much more replayability because of the Strike Force.
Yeah, they're sandbox levels. They're not. I mean, I think the first time you play through those won't that like I said, I think that'll be just literally scratching the surface. I think people will just be figuring, oh, I can do this and I can do that, and I think that's an important game design element. Literally, we had to make it accessible. Call of Duty is so very accessible. I think it's part of the reason why so many people enjoy it. But there's also skill to Call of Duty, and I think this also holds true in that tenet. You'll get more skilled and more, and you'll be able to take advantage of more things on the battlefield and have a good time with it. So.
Okay, before going into last question, because I kept one hard question
That's
on the
okay.
last, but first I wonder that in the beginning when Treyarch was involved in Call of Duty series, it was like running a sub-series to fill the release gap. The first we think like that, but with World at War, you do something much more than this, especially on multiplayer. And with Black Ops, you just sold more than Modern Warfare. And now it's I'm wondering that with the position you came with the Black Ops 2, it much more looks like that the series that Treyarch is running becoming much more important. The series Infinity Ward running, maybe at least in the same level. So, is there any competition between the inside the Activision to those two streams to make it much more successful? Also, I'm wondering that do you think that Treyarch now is being seen as the major developer, one of the major developers for the series? Do you think that you are praised enough by the industry and press? I'm sure about the gamers because sales numbers shows that you are praised by the gamers, but by industry and press, do you think that the Treyarch gets the approval that the I can remember.
No, I understand what you're saying. It feels to me like the press really does appreciate what how we've developed. They do appreciate, I think, the creativity and the ambition of this studio. I think they recognize it, and I think they showed that on Black Ops with us very much so, which is the last thing I can go off of. But I think it's also just important to note that this is a studio. This is a hardworking studio. Just because we had some commercial success with Black Ops, I think you have to go out every single time you make one of these games, and you have to earn. You have to earn it again. And that's so that's part of why you see this team really wanting to innovate and push the boundaries and take risks, because not only for themselves creatively, but they want to give an audience that's had so many great Call of Duty games made by us, but made by other studios, some new experiences. And we're very critical of our own selves and our own work. It's it's been a very intense development cycle for us, and we're just really excited about what we're working on. So. I don't know. Hopefully you liked what you saw today. We're very proud of what we shared with you today. Hopefully you got a lot to tell your audience about.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to telling you guys more about the multiplayer and the zombies mode, because much like a lot of our game modes, we've only scratched the surface of telling you what Black Ops 2 is really all about.
So we can say that the zombies mode, the multiplayer, and the campaign, they're all totally changed. Not totally changing, but totally developing.
Yeah, we're pushing
changing,
the boundaries on every single one of those modes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my last question. That's something that probably everybody in the industry trying to figure out. I'm trying it too, but I think it's really hard to comprehend as one person. But since you're in the core, in the middle of it, maybe you can answer.
Yeah.
What is Call of Duty about? Today, I don't care about its future or where it came. Today, where do you think that Call of Duty stands and what it's about?
As a franchise?
Yes, as the whole franchise.
You know, I think we are a significant piece of entertainment and art for a lot of people. For a lot of people, this is something they spend a lot of their time enjoying and playing, as opposed to spending their leisure time doing other things. And so I hope it is, like I said, I hope it is both as a form of entertainment and an art form, something that is meaningful to people and that they enjoy their time with it. And hopefully we're bringing a lot of happiness to people who are doing this, who are playing Call of Duty, and we hope to be doing that for a long time to come.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
Thanks for your
absolutely.
time.
Okay.
Thank you.